whether the team is giving us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues. We'll cover it all here on Commanders Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So, I can't help but notice all of the things that are being said about this team. No matter what we do, it's never good enough. And everybody's got something to say. Everyone's taking their shots, their jabs. We're being omitted from things. It's what I've come to expect. Here's the difference this year, though. I'm used to accepting this quietly because we're not any good. So what are you going to say, right? What are you going to say? You suck. Keep your mouth shut and take your lumps. But what happens when you're actually good? That's what I think is going to happen this year. I've been very adamant that we're going to be good this season, which is why I'm not taking shit from nobody. Hence, all of the disrespect, the utmost disrespect that we've been shown this year, whether it starts with Carson Wentz. And once you become a member of this family, you get protection from the rest of the members of this family, okay? So now that Wentz is one of us, we got his back. Or at least I do. I can't speak for y'all. I got his back. And we've seen all the disrespect. Well, disrespect of the highest order, which is what we receive on a daily, that shit comes with a cost, okay? It comes with a price. It has a price to it. And it's not a steep one, okay? My price for the disrespect that we continue to receive on a daily basis is pettiness. I'm going to be one of the pettiest sons of a bitch you've ever seen if we win. Now, we got to win. They got to hold up their end of the bargain to allow me to be petty. But I take a lot of shit, and I don't know if you guys see all of the shit that I take, but I know you see a lot of the things that transpire, i.e. Warren Sharp. And I was going to put his little funky ass tweet up on the billboard here. Nah, I'm not giving him the satisfaction of spreading that bullshit around. But he had a tweet where he's talking about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, in all caps, Carson Wentz is who we thought he was. And then he's got the clips of the 2 interceptions that he threw on back-to-back plays. Trust me when I tell you, he didn't go back and say, wow, Carson Wentz with 2 touchdown tosses in the final, 7 minutes of that ball game. What a clutch performance after he started to throw up all over himself. No, there was no correction to the bullshit he put out there. He's got a narrative. He's one of those Carson Wentz detractors out there that wants to be proven right that Carson Wentz stinks so he can say, see, I told you. Well, we got a big finger for him. And it ain't this one, it ain't this one, and it ain't this one. But we need to win more first. But what I want to encourage, and I'm not this guy. I'm generally not this guy, okay? First of all, I don't even like social media. You guys know this, okay? However, I don't want you to be okay with the disrespect that's being lobbed at us. Rich Eisen, and I got no beef with Rich Eisen. None whatsoever, okay? I like Rich. Rich is a good guy. No beef, right? And this was just an oversight. But these oversights happen to us more often than anybody else. But Rich Eisen put out a tweet last night, and it said, after Seattle failed to convert on 4th and inches on their second possession, here's the list of teams that scored on their first 2 possessions of the game in week 1. And he put the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the list. Just one slight omission on that list there, Rich. Us, yeah. Oh, by the way, just so you know, after watching that fiasco last night on Monday Night Football, I started looking around the rest of the league, and I said, well, damn, not a lot of points has been scored. A lot of teams decided to pass on the preseason this year. We weren't one of them. I said, man, a lot of teams failed to score points this week. in week 1. So I looked around the league and I said, well, I'll be. We had the 5th highest point total in the National Football League in week 1 with our 28 points. Only the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Detroit Lions and Philadelphia Eagles scored more points than us in our 28 in week 1. So, yeah. Hey, Rich. Woohoo. Yeah, we scored on our first 2 possessions as well. Put some respect on our name, okay? Don't need to be petty with Rich. But I want to go back to my initial point of y'all got to stop letting this pettiness or people taking shots. You got to stop letting this shit slide. One of the things that irks me about this fan base is that they'll go after their own. They'll chastise other fans of this fan base. They'll go after them with vigor if they don't agree with one of their perspectives. But let somebody else outside the fan base, outside the family, be talking shit about us. We don't say a word. You know what that reminds me of? The big tough guy that wants to hit women. Oh, he's big, bad, and tough when there's a female in front of him. But put a dude in front of him, now he wants to bitch up and he doesn't want any smoke. That's how we are when it comes to other fans. When we talk to each other, oh, we are bad-mouthing each other. We're talking about this, that. You're not a real fan, this, that, and the third. But let somebody else come with some smoke for us on the outside. No, have that same energy for their ass. Everybody's talking shit about us. Everybody's doubting us. You should be swarming their ass. Instead, we're infighting. Y'all got to channel y'all energy in the right places. I want to tell you right now, I'm going to be all kinds of petty this year. If you ain't done nothing to me, you don't got anything to worry about. I ain't coming after you. But if you is just as much as tweeted at me, unsolicited, okay? And I got a list of names. I got a Packers fan that every so often wants to poke the bear. I ain't said nothing to you. I'm just minding my damn business, going about my day, and he wants to come over here and just poke me. Okay. Meanwhile, his Packers team is only good enough to muster 7 whole damn points after worrying about what we gonna do against Jacksonville. Mind you, his Packers, and I watched them do this, just a year ago, struggled with these same damn Jacksonville Jaguars, or 2 years ago rather, struggled with these same damn Jacksonville Jaguars with Jake Luton at quarterback and almost lost. Get out of my face. I'm about to be petty. I'm just telling you. I'm pulling skeletons out the closet. I'm airing dudes out. And I'm doing it for the slightest bit of disrespect. At this point, I've reached my limit. My cup has overrunneth. And now, and I'm telling you, y'all haven't seen the levels of pettiness that I can get to. Oh, there's different levels to this shit. I can take it to the umpteenth degree. But all I'm saying to y'all is, y'all gotta be willing to check some of these clowns on social media who decide they want to point out this, that, and the third about this team. They got nothing. They don't know anything about this squad. Y'all got to start checking these fools, man. Don't let these dudes, nothing slides. Nothing slides. I'm just letting y'all know. So if you see some craziness on my timeline, or you see a random post from me, oh, it's probably me being petty as hell. It's going to be a lot of it, especially if the dubs continue to stack up. I got a list of names, and just like Carson Wentz revenge tour, off to a great start. Be careful with coming to a city near you. All right, on this revenge tour, I got a list of names too, and I'll be checking those shits off. All right, checking it twice just to make sure. And if you step in the way, look, I usually go after the intended target, but please don't catch a stray. Don't get in the way and catch a unintended stray. Okay? You've been warned. In other news, Washington had to make some moves at defensive tackle. We spoke about this yesterday. I talked about Phidarian Mathis, Jonathan Allen, Wes Schweitzer. All 3 of those guys were receiving MRIs yesterday to see what the extent of their injuries were. Schweitzer with his hamstring, Allen with his groin, and Mathis with his knee. We were hoping for the best, but expecting the worst with Mathis, and our worst fears were confirmed. He did, in fact, suffer an injury to his knee that requires major surgery. He had a torn meniscus in his knee. We talked about this yesterday, and that's going to put him out for the remainder of the season. So we already knew that, okay? Jonathan Allen received his MRI. No structural damage done to his groin. A little sore, obviously, but it sounds like he's going to be just fine. We'll see. We can hear that from a player. The injury report and how he practices during the course of the week will tell the story. If he's really fine, by the time we get to Friday, he won't even be listed on the injury report. That doesn't even include whether he is limited or DNP during the week. If we get to Friday and he's listed on the injury report, but in the column that states game status, if it's just a line, he's good to go. We got nothing to worry about. But if he's got a game status, questionable, probable, this thing's a little bit more serious than they're leading on, okay? Anyway, we'll start to monitor that tomorrow when practice begins. Wes Schweitzer, hamstring, still awaiting news on him. We may not get that until tomorrow. If it were something serious, I think we would have heard something by now. But I'll continue to keep you posted on that situation. And if any news develops there, I'll be all over it and make sure that I deliver that to you guys, or vice versa. If you hear something, please feel free to send it my way. That said, because of the injury to Phidarian Mathis, I told you guys yesterday, we're going to go out and get some defensive tackle help. And I also threw out this caveat: don't look for a veteran. Don't look for Ndamukong Suh. Don't look for Linval Joseph. Don't look for Star Lotulelei. These guys that are in their mid to upper 30s. That's not the direction Ron has been going in since he got here. One of the first things Ron said during his Happy Thanksgiving presser was that I made a mistake in Carolina. I allowed the roster to get old overnight. I'm not going to do that again. He vowed to not let the roster get old, okay? So what Ron has shown us, and he's been consistent across the board with this, even to the extent of the cornerback position where we thought, oh man, we need some veteran help. He went out and got two guys that have 4 games of NFL experience combined between them, one of which was a 6th-round draft pick in this past year's draft. So he's a rookie. He's never played an NFL snap, okay? He was inactive on Sunday, by the way. And then, Rashad Wild Goose was the guy that had played. He was a draft pick in 2021, and he's only played in 4 games. And so he went out and got 2 green, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac corners. This is what Ron is doing, okay? This is what he's been doing. This is what he's going to continue to do. So what did he go out and do? He did the exact same thing by going out and snatching Donovan Jeter off of the Steelers practice squad. So just to give you a little bit of background information on who Donovan Jeter is. He's an undrafted free agent that the Steelers added in 2021 to their practice squad. Went to the University of Michigan. If you want to talk about this guy and what he brings to the table, right around 305 pounds or so. He looks like the defensive tackles that we have. He's not one of these big, space-eating road graders. He fits that nimble mold of tackles that we like to have here in Washington. He's got some lateral quickness. He's a guy that I think is really stout at the point of attack. Stout enough. He's not Phidarian Mathis at the point of attack. That's for damn sure. But he is stout at the point of attack. I think he does a good job of reading and recognizing what the offense is trying to do, especially in the run game. I think he does a great job of stacking and shedding. But he's limited. He's not a pass rusher. He's not a guy that's going to necessarily make a ton of plays by himself. But he is a guy that's going to do his job. And so we'll see if anything materializes with him and if he can continue to develop. The hope is that this guy doesn't have to play. They've got other guys that they probably like that are on the practice squad that they can bring up. And so the hope is that they'll be able to kind of keep, having other guys fill various roles like F.A. Obata, and I'm not comfortable with him kicking inside, but things of that nature. Right now, with Allen being healthy, it gives you a little bit of space, right, to push back away from the table a bit, okay, and feel comfortable that, hey, we still got Daniel Wise coming off the bench. You want that one more guy. You need two defensive tackles on the bench that can spell the other two. But make no mistake about it, Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen are playing a high number of snaps. So you really only need one more dude that's, spelling them, because you really aren't trying to take both of those guys off the field at the same time at any, moment. You really want one of those guys at a bare minimum on the field. So as long as we got Daniel Wise, we should be able to get through, until Chase Young comes back, and that may then give us a little bit more flexibility, because then we may be able to stick James Smith-Williams inside a little bit too. So we'll see. Obviously, time will tell, but we got to stay relatively healthy from here on out at defensive tackle. Speaking of defensive tackle, they took another step. They said, okay, Donovan Jeter gives us a little bit of depth. Now we need to put more depth on the practice squad at defensive tackle in the event that something goes awry. And so, and this may also speak to maybe the severity of Jonathan Allen. Maybe it's a little bit more than what they're leading on. I don't know. We'll see. But they decided to remove Farad Gardner from the practice squad. He's a safety that had been in camp with this team that they like. They went ahead, moved on from him at the safety position, and added Benning Patoa-Ia. All right, now this is a guy that went to the University of Washington. He played with Vita Vea. They were both on that defensive line together for a year. He was undrafted out of Washington in 2020. The Buccaneers picked him up, put him on their practice squad. He was on their practice squad in 2020. He actually played against us in the playoff game in 2020. He was on their practice squad again in 2021. And then he didn't make their team this past offseason, and they cut him. We just picked him up. He is a 300-pound, again, one of those guys in that slim, slender defensive tackle mold. Kind of looks like Jonathan Allen in terms of his build. He's a guy that I think has some ability, but he's not super athletic. He's got strong hands, very violent hands. He's got, I think, the ability to diagnose quickly, shed, get to ball carriers, but he's limited in his movement skills. Again, solid, but not earth-shattering. There's a reason he was undrafted. There's a reason he could never crack the Bucs, active roster and be on that defensive line in their rotation. And so, again, you hope to never see Benning Patoa-Ia, rather. You hope to never see him. And I don't think we will. I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but that's another defensive tackle that they added on this team. So, again, two more guys with little to no NFL experience that they're bringing into the mix and hoping that these guys develop under Jeff Skanina. So, there you have it. That's the defensive tackle depth. Probably not what you were looking for, but it is what it is. I told you what they were going to do, and they went out and did it. So, let's talk about what else did I want to talk about? I think there was one more thing that I wanted to get to. Oh, yes. If you're a member of the MOBB or you're a member of Patreon, I posted the Studs and Duds video from week 1. So check that out. That's some bonus content for all of you who have supported the Louie T Network. Can't thank you guys enough. So check that out. If you're a member of Patreon, keep your eyes peeled for the film. That's coming at you probably early stages of tomorrow, late stages of tonight. Either way, you'll be able to have access to that very shortly. We'll go over some plays on defense, some plays on offense, and kind of, show you what we're out here doing and where we can improve, where we're really good, things of that nature. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you're a member of Patreon. With that said, though, I got nothing else for you, man. I'm excited. We're going to turn the page tomorrow night. We're going to be live for CNN Live. Hope that you can join us. We're going to be talking about a number of different things. Obviously, practice and the report of all that transpired at practice, but more importantly, what the injury report looks like. We're going to hear from some guys at the podium, including Carson Wentz and Ron Rivera. So I'll be looking out for that, as will you guys. I had a chance to take in all of the different videos that the team's media team put out. Obviously, the Carson Wentz video of him getting the game ball. A lot of you had already seen it. Remember, I was live with you, so I didn't have a chance to see it initially. But, of course, I went back and watched it. It was great. And Ron talked about Carson accepting the blame. And you heard him talk about – see, I didn't know if Carson cussed or not. You know, he's a heavy Christian guy. I know a lot of guys like that don't cuss, like Phillip Rivers and Derek Carr. So I didn't know if he, used swear words or not. He does. I don't know why, but that endears me to him even more. Like, I don't know why that matters. You don't have to cuss to be cool, but it kind of, I don't know. I'm just going to shut up because there are some of you out there that don't cuss, and you're probably just absolutely the coolest people ever. You don't have to cuss to be cool, and I'm aware of this, but I don't know. It just adds another layer to Carson Wentz for whatever it's worth. But you got to see all of the players walking off the field. They put out another video with that. And, I'm going to steal one of the lines from Bobby McCain, as we exit this program tonight. And I love it. And it's probably something that I'm going to continue to use, moving forward. And he said, "You can't win them all if you don't win the first one." Truer words have never been spoken. That's why I love me some Bobby McCain. That's going to do it for me. Your man Louie T here on Commanders Nightly News. I look forward to chopping it up with you guys live tomorrow night. We'll have a bunch of topics, and we will start to turn our attention. We'll put the bow on Jacksonville tomorrow after I've had a chance to digest the film. I'll give you, some cliff notes of that. I won't say too much, but I'll give you some cliff notes. We'll put Jacksonville in the rear view, and we will turn our attention to the Detroit Lions and start to prepare ourselves for the upcoming matchup. It's a big one. They're trying to avoid 0-2. We're trying to move to 2-0. We got a great opportunity in front of us. We'll talk more about that tomorrow and what that game entails and why it's such an important contest for the Washington Commanders. So with that said, you guys have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for Commanders Nightly News Live.
Here comes the Diesel. Here comes the Diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20.